Lead scoring has to be one of my favorite features in VBOUT. That's because it simply works. Now, lead scoring is a simple way of me looking at a lead, looking at a score, and then determining if that lead is ready to purchase. Very simple. In this video, I'm going to show you what lead scoring is, the framework we follow, how you can set it up on VBOUT, and how you can unleash a better and smarter funnel for your business. If you're wondering what lead scoring is, I can show you right here. I have my lead score column and lead status. They're all 0 right now because I don't have any data. But if I would pull a richer account with more information, you can see how my entire database coming every day literally have a different phase for the lead. Some people are in the decision phase, and although they submitted information today, they've accumulated enough data to be close enough to make a decision. And that's really, really powerful for us. We can focus on people who are closer to buying. We can send them different messages because someone who knows exactly what they want, they're closer to making a decision, definitely consume content in a slightly different way than those who are earlier in the stage. Not only that, in VBOUT, once you set up your scoring, you're going to have 2 awesome funnels. One of them is for your contacts, which looks like this, showing you that you have, for instance, here, 9,000 people in the consideration phase, 3,000 in the decision phase. And this is really, really important. We'll also have an anonymous funnel. These are people who haven't really taken any action and they're still browsing around. But the moment they give us their email via a form or via some API endpoint, we can merge the information together and then bring forth that history of data. To set up your lead scoring, you need to have that on your account, of course. But before I do that, I wanted to briefly share with you a framework that we use. The way we look at lead score is as simple as this. You have different stages of the buyer. You have an early stage where someone hasn't done much. You have very little information on that person, and they probably don't have any score associated with their profile. The moment they start visiting your website, spending some time, and maybe even filling out a form or two, they're now moving from an early stage to an awareness phase. And that's what we estimate, right? And all I'm sharing with you right now are best practices in estimation. So feel free to adopt it to your own business and what you think is best for you. Now, anything in the beyond 40, we consider them, in our case, in the consideration phase. This means they know enough about you. They probably consume case studies, comparison charts, and that sort of stuff. And then they move forward to the decision phase. This is where between 71 and 100 is a really critical area or period of the lead. They're probably close to make a decision, a yes or a no. They're exchanging some conversations with your team, or maybe even with their own team internally if you have a low-touch product. Now, after that, there might be a buffer time, we call it the conversion time, or conversion stage, where people are still engaging, but maybe due to your sales cycle, it's taking a little bit longer to close that lead. And that's what we just give it a time between 100 and 200. If you have a shorter closing cycle, maybe you can shorten the conversion. And I've seen people even remove it completely from their funnel. And after that comes retention. This is where people are still going back and forth and they're consuming your content, they're buying over and over. And this is really the best place to be in. So that's how we kind of structure our funnel in VBOUT. And if I would just go into my account from the left under contacts, lead score, you'll be able to see how we followed that same structure. Anything in poor data has below 1 score. Between 1 and 10 is an awareness phase. Consideration is 11 to 50. Now, all of these are fully configurable, meaning I can change this from 1 to 40. And now the following consideration phase has changed. So that means in the consideration phase now, I have 966. So that impacts really how you parse your leads, and it gives you better visibility. Feel free to create your own stages. We call them statuses. And feel free to also change the labels, descriptions, colors, so this funnel will be branded to your own needs. A couple of important things on this view. When I access my lead scoring, I can see that I have 20,000 contacts in the database and have 51,000 anonymous visitors that I don't know who they are. These are people who are browsing around and doing things in the hopes that at some point when they convert, all that information will be carried over back to us. I have a leads tab. This is where I'm really gathering data on anonymous, and you can see here how I do have anonymous in this phase, retention phase, which could look a little bit confusing or perhaps inaccurate, but the fact is some people are advocates of your brand, even though they haven't bought and they haven't given you any details. The beauty about VBOUT, I can click on that lead and I can dive deeper into pretty much the entire history of this lead, all the things that I scored them on, and I can remove what I think is not accurate. Again, this is a set it and forget it process. VBOUT is doing all that heavy lifting in the background. All you need to do is set up your scoring rules, which is the video I'll be covering next.